Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. I am very happy to have Wendy Kohlman here in studio. She is the Director of Genetic Counseling at the Huntsman Cancer Institute. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you here. You guys have an event coming up, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, but I think first and foremost, let's talk a little bit about genetics when it comes to cancer and where that falls into place.
Sure. So, cancer is unfortunately very common disease, but most cancers really are something that happen due to chance or simply a risk that people have as they get older. But a small portion of cancers are due to inherited factors in families. So overall, about 5 to 10% of cancers occur in families that have an inherited genetic risk. We have a clinic at the Huntsman Cancer Institute, the Family Cancer Assessment Clinic, where we really focus on identifying those families that are at greatest risk for cancer. We can sometimes use genetic testing to help us identify those that have these genetic risk factors, and the goal of that is that then once we identify someone as being at increased risk, we can put them on a screening program to really try to catch those cancers early or even prevent them from happening.
That's something that a lot of people may not understand, is that when we talk about getting in and getting screened for cancer, we don't mean come in and find out if you have, yes, of course, if you have cancer, you're going to find that out. But a bigger part of that is really to find out if you have risk factors, to find out if you have something that might develop into cancer. That's a bigger concern, right? Right,
exactly. So, the particular event that we're going to talk about today is really focused on hereditary colon cancer. And this is a great example of how we can use knowledge about someone's family history and about their genetic risk to prevent disease. When we identify someone as having a hereditary form of colon cancer, we can follow them by doing colonoscopies more frequently, finding those polyps and removing them and preventing that cancer from developing.
Yeah, and for a lot of people, they may not understand the ability. I think once you find out that you have some risk factors, you start to get some sleepless nights. But knowing that you've been in and you've had polyps removed and you're on a 3-year plan or a 5-year plan, or even if you're on the 1-year plan of coming back, you then can probably sleep a little better knowing that somebody's watching and monitoring, and you're looking at that and knowing what the risk is going forward.
Right, exactly. A lot of these families have dealt with cancer for generations, and now we finally have the technology to understand why is that happening and help them take control and be proactive about their health. And at Huntsman, in our clinic, we really partner with an advocacy group called the Hereditary Colon Cancer Foundation. They're a wonderful resource started by Travis and Shawnee Bray, who originated this support group here in Park City. They're now based out of Portland, but they developed this organization to really develop educational materials and resources for families that have hereditary colon cancer.
Some of what we're seeing on screen now, I'm assuming, in these videos of that, is that right?
Exactly, yes. They have all sorts of resources, patient education materials, a lot of professional educational materials, as well as hosting family events across the country to bring together these families that have hereditary colon cancer so they can get information and support.
And that's exactly what we're talking about. There's a great event coming up, the DNA Dude Dash.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
Yes. Well, so, they keep finding new ways to make hereditary colon cancer fun and exciting.
Right.
So
you should try.
They do. So basically what the DNA Dude Dash is a way for people in Park City and all across the country to help raise money and awareness of hereditary colon cancer.
Right.
The DNA Dude is basically the logo of the Hereditary Colon Cancer Foundation come to life. And what he wants you to do is run a 5K. And you can do this wherever you are on November 26th. You can go online and register at the Hereditary Colon Cancer Foundation. It's $25. Okay. They will send you your very own DNA Dude. You can go run your 5K, take pictures with your dude as you are running, and post it on social media. It's a great way to, like I said, raise some money for this important cause, as well as really raising awareness. colon cancer in general is not something that we talk about.
No, we don't.
Right. And so we want to help kind of break down that stigma. We want people to talk about their family history. We want people to share that information so that people can recognize if there are patterns of this disease in the family. And then we want people who, to go seek help and to not be afraid to ask their doctor about being screened or finding out if genetic testing might be appropriate for them.
Now, for most men, 40 is the age that you should go and get screened. 50. Is it 50 now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So 50 years old is when you should go get screened. But if you have some other issues where you're starting to feel symptomatic of something else is wrong, then obviously you may want to go see your doctor sooner.
Right.
Or the DNA risk.
Right. Particularly these families that have family history, we may start screening as early as the 20s.
Yeah.
And there are some rare forms of hereditary colon cancer where we actually need to start checking children.
Wow.
So it's really important that we start these conversations, that people share information about their family history so that everyone's aware if there is this type of risk. And as someone who works in this field, I know how important it is to have groups like the Hereditary Colon Cancer Foundation. It's a great organization where people are sharing their stories, and it really is helping break down that stigma. And that's really what helps people feel confident and seek the help that they need. There's no shortage of runs or other things for charity, but the Hereditary Colon Cancer Foundation uses their money wisely. For every $25 of registration, that's enough to support the educational materials for 5 families with hereditary colon cancer. So they use technology, they do innovative things such as the DNA Do Dash, where they're bringing people together across the country, and really your money is going to go a long ways to support these families with these rare conditions.
That's awesome. I love what you guys are doing with DNA. You've had doctors now that are doing tests with animals, elephants, to be precise. Mm-hmm. He's a terrific doctor. We're hoping to have him on the show sometime to talk about that a little more. But the point here is, if we can minimize risk, if we can get to things earlier, if we can identify things, that's survivability goes up. That's the part that really matters.
Exactly.
Well, I want to thank you so much for this. This is awesome. November the 26th,
yes.
An independent run, basically.
Right.
All you got to do is register, take some photos, get them up to social media. It's the DNA Do Dash.
Right,
Great
and
stuff.
You've helped 5 families get educated about this and get the support they need. So hopefully we can have a good showing here from Park City and from Utah.
Lastly, if someone feels that there's something wrong, bowel changes, things like that. Let's just be frank.
Yeah.
If something's different when you're using the bathroom, you feel like something might be an issue, you should go and seek help. Where do people go? Do they just go to their doctor typically, or are there other places to go?
Their primary care doctor would probably be a good place to start if you're noticing any symptoms. If those symptoms warrant it, getting a colonoscopy is the best way to know for sure.
Indeed.
So don't hesitate to ask.
I want to thank you so very much for being here,
Thank
Wendy.
you.
And again, you'll want to take this opportunity to get out there and raise awareness, and also to help out the Huntsman Cancer Institute as they do more to help us all avoid the dangers of cancer. So much more here on the Mountain Morning Show. We've got ghoulish goods coming up. You'll want to stay tuned for that right after this.